What luxury did you stop wanting after you finally experienced it? A private table with drinks at a nightclub. Friends persuaded us to try it in Las Vegas. We paid hundreds of dollars for one ordinary bottle of vodka, a place to sit, and someone carrying a sparkler through the room. The music was too loud to talk, the table was cramped, and the final bill was even higher after the tip. I had imagined it would feel glamorous. Instead, it felt like paying an enormous fee to pretend we were having more fun than everyone else. For years, my dream was owning a hot tub. Eventually, we spent a small fortune on one. At first, we used it constantly. Then the novelty disappeared. Before using it, we had to check the chemicals, remove the cover, and wait for the right moment. The winter electricity bill climbed, and maintenance became another household chore. Now we rarely use it. We still owe money on it, and I am too embarrassed to admit how badly I want to sell it. Dating someone extremely wealthy sounded exciting until I actually did it. We had completely different ideas about normal problems. A parking ticket was not a punishment to him. It was simply the price of parking wherever he wanted. An unexpected expense that would ruin my month was barely noticeable to him. The restaurants and trips were impressive, but it was difficult to build a relationship when money had protected one person from experiences that shaped the other. Fine dining stopped impressing me after a Michelin-starred meal during a trip. Every course arrived on something that looked more like modern art than a plateau. The food was good, but the portions were tiny, and none of it changed my life. When the bill arrived, the meal had cost more than our airline ticket sing. The next day, I bought street food from a small stand and enjoyed it far more. That was when I realized I wanted memorable food, not an expensive performance around IT. An expensive Japanese steak taught me how quickly luxury reaches diminishing returns. Was it better than a good prime steak? Yes. Was it 4 or 5 times better? Not even close. The same thing happened with extremely expensive cognac. I could taste the improvement, but the difference was nowhere near large enough to justify thousands of extra dollars. Sometimes the luxury version is genuinely better. The surprise is discovering how much you are paying for the final tiny improvement. I always thought professional sports would be incredible from a luxury viewing box. The food and private bathroom were convenient, but the room felt disconnected from the stadium. People talked through the game, and we watched important moments on televisions inside the box. From the regular seats, you feel the crowd react as one giant organism. In the luxury box, I felt like I was attending a corporate meeting with a game playing in the background. Flying first class was wonderful, which is exactly why I stopped wanting it. The seat was wide, the service was calm, and I arrived rested. Then I flew economy again. Nothing about economy had changed, but now every inch felt smaller because I knew what was happening behind the curtain. First class did not permanently improve my travel. It made the travel I could normally afford feel worse. That was a dangerous luxury to become accustomed to. I wanted a huge house until I spent time taking care of one. Every extra room becomes another floor to clean, another wall to paint, another place where something can break, and another corner filled with things nobody uses. Heating and cooling empty space is expensive, and people somehow spread farther apart inside it. A beautiful house can quietly turn into a part-time job. I would rather have a smaller home where every room has a purpose. Boats are amazing when your friend owns one. When you own the boat, the relaxing day on the water begins with towing, fuel, launching, cleaning, storage, insurance, and repairs. Something always needs attention, and every marine part seems to cost several times more than the ordinary version. Unless you use it constantly and have serious money to spare, it is a floating expense that occasionally provides a nice afternoon. I finally tried the VIP section at a music festival and discovered a fenced area with a few chairs. It was farther from the energy of the crowd, and the word VIP had done most of the selling. Some festivals provide clean bathrooms, shade, and shorter lines, which can be worth a reasonable upgrade. But the truly expensive packages often sell status rather than a better experience. I learned to read the list of actual benefits and ignore the shiny label. Being around famous people and glamorous film events cured me of wanting fame. The red carpets and parties were exciting for a short time. Behind them were long hours, constant judgment, fragile careers, and people who could never be sure whether a new friend liked them or their access. The public sees the photographs from the best 10 minutes. It does not see how lonely and exhausting the remaining day can be. Designer bags stopped feeling luxurious when I realized I was afraid to use them. I worried about rain, scratches, crowded trains, and putting the bag on the floor. Instead of carrying my belongings, I was spending the entire day protecting an object I had purchased to make life feel better. The bag was well made, but the anxiety came free with a logo. My ordinary bag was less impressive and much more useful. Disney World was the luxury vacation I had imagined since childhood. I am glad I went once, but I mostly remember lines, heat, crowds, expensive food, and the pressure to enjoy every minute because the trip cost so much. We rushed from one attraction to another trying to make the price feel justified. It was not a terrible experience. It simply taught me that anticipation can be more magical than the expensive reality. Caviar was supposed to be the moment I finally understood sophisticated taste. Instead, my first thought was that it tasted intensely like the ocean. Everyone around me seemed to be waiting for a revelation, so I smiled and tried another bite. The revelation never arrived. Maybe experts can distinguish the exceptional versions. I learned that an expensive reputation cannot force you to enjoy something. The biggest surprise was not that every luxury disappointed me. Some genuinely improved the experience. The useful lesson was learning to separate comfort from status. A better mattress, a quiet hotel room, or a reliable car can make ordinary days easier. A logo, a velvet rope, or a dramatic presentation may only make the purchase easier to display. Now I ask a simpler question before spending money. Would I still want this if nobody else ever knew I had it? Every day we find the questions Reddit can't stop talking about. Have a story like this? Share it below. It might be featured in a future video. See you in the next story.